Hey everybody, it's Christian Buckley doing another MVP Buzz Chat, and I'm talking today with Nicole. Hello.
Hey, nice for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And for folks that don't know you, who are you, where are you, and what do you do?
Yes, so it's very short. It's a very short story. I'm Nicole, and yes, I'm a freshly baked MVP for Microsoft Teams, and I'm based in Germany. So it's a very big title I got for my age. I'm 23 years old, so it's an honor to get this title, and I think it was a bit luck, but also yeah, it's a great opportunity, of course, to be an MVP. And my main based job is like I'm an IT engineer or a system engineer. So I'm working in an IT service company, and yeah, that's my short story.
Were you a student ambassador? Have you been
No.
involved like from that side? Because that's, we've had, I think the youngest MVP, like you have
Hmm.
to be at least 18 years old to be in the
Ah,
program for
okay.
those, anybody watching. So you do need to be 18 for Microsoft. And so I think
Hmm.
has been, we've had at least one 18-year-old.
Ah,
And then I'm
okay.
aware of another that was out of Australia. I think she was 19 or
Hmm.
maybe 20. So it'd been
Hmm.
one, a couple of the youngest. But obviously, you're awarded for what you've been doing in the community in the year prior. So what's
Hmm.
been your community activity? Like what types of contributions?
So, first of all, when I look back in the time, it was like 2 years ago, I started with social media. Mainly, I'm on LinkedIn. So, I'm active posting Microsoft Teams updates, or on YouTube, I'm sharing my what's new on Microsoft Teams every month. So, everyone can stay like up to date with me. And these are my main social media points. And of course, LinkedIn is a big source where I can share my knowledge. Also, when I post pictures, hey, this feature is new or this, and yeah, that's it's amazing experience because in this time I also grew a little community in my LinkedIn page. So yeah, it's very interesting, and now it's getting more and more, and yeah, I'm pretty excited what's coming in the future.
Is I have to ask, it just made me think of this too, is that
Yeah.
I know that when what is it, Zing, XING, when that launched, so it's a, I guess it's a competitor to LinkedIn, but it's
Mm-hmm.
huge in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you're even aware of like what that is, but
Yes. I
yeah,
actually know, but I prefer LinkedIn. I don't know. I'm inside this LinkedIn bubble already, so getting out of
yeah.
it, it's a little, yeah, hard, I guess.
Anyway, yeah, sorry as an aside for folks that just aren't familiar with that. I just
Yeah.
remember when it was still, all these platforms were still new, there
Mm,
used to be a bunch of
yeah.
competition for LinkedIn, but LinkedIn has become the dominant
Yeah.
platform for
Oh,
folks. But
mainly for companies like all these
oh yeah,
companies. So there's more like knowledge sharing than those normal social media videos. Like
right,
this short. Yeah.
right. Well, and I know some people have tried to treat it like Facebook, and they
Mm-hmm.
get reprimanded by the community very quickly. People like, no, this is not for
Yeah.
sharing photos of your lunch. It's not for getting into religious or political, monologues in here. Like, no, this is work related
Mm-hmm.
content, activities, and learning and sharing and that kind of stuff, which is, it's great to have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It does keep it very neutral.
Yeah, it's like a big newspaper. Like you can
Right.
just you have the opportunity to just open LinkedIn and you get so much information of each source you're following. So it makes everything way faster to get information than reading like long articles for like 30 minutes. So
Right.
this is more appealing for me because our daily business getting more faster each day, so we need to stay fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why do we have LinkedIn MVPs? There are some people that do a lot of work and help people with LinkedIn and building out their profiles
Really?
and learning how to get more out of it. Yeah, it's like, why I used to do a lot of that as well,
Hmm.
but yeah. Anyway, now that Microsoft owns it, like Anyway,
I didn't know
but
that there
no,
existing
I don't.
LinkedIn.
There isn't.
Ah, okay.
That's the thing. It'd be interesting if they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway. Oh, so around teams. So like, what are your what topics are you most passionate about right now? What are you writing about or creating content around?
I don't have a main theme. I just posting everything around Microsoft Teams. So for me, it's important, and that's my daily business. I'm starting with companies to like we're starting at zero. Like if the company decides they want to implement or adopt Microsoft Teams, I'm there. So I will support them. I will advise them how to adopt Microsoft Teams in a good way that they have all set up in their Microsoft tenant. Governance, compliance, it's a big thing. So before you adopt a new tool, you should be prepared and of course be ready to use it. So policies are a big theme in it. So yeah, this is one of my doings, of course, for Teams and of course for Microsoft Copilot. I'm not only doing Teams content, I'm also doing Microsoft Copilot or Microsoft 365 Copilot updates. So there's also always, you need to check, are you ready to use it? Are you ready to book a license, a Copilot license? And when you're not, or if you're not sure, then please talk to me and I will advise you how you set up your whole tenant. And yeah, that's my thing, which I'm doing now.
I'm always interested to hear from certainly from adoption. I'm sure you see this when you're working with a company or across multiple companies, you start to see themes around certain questions that everybody asks the same questions.
Yeah.
And part of that, and the way that I look at it from content, from a person who goes out there, like I do AMAs and panels and other individual content. I used to do a lot more around productivity tips.
Yes.
And almost all of that content would come through someone asking a question. I see this question again and again. Do you see like some common areas, which could mean that, hey, organizations are not doing a good enough job of training people on this area or preparing people for the change in use of technology? Do you see any themes right now?
Yes, and of course, the pandemic was a big point of that, because you need to be fast in your company. Okay, now the pandemic is there, and in this time, all the companies need to change their work model. So you needed to get a solution where you can stay connected with all your team or colleagues, and Microsoft Teams was the best solution in this case. And of course, everyone does the change. Like they set up Microsoft Teams and gave everyone the permission to use it. But yeah, they used it for like meetings, but they didn't know how much more possibilities you have or abilities you have in Microsoft Teams. So
yeah.
In this point, yes, it's a big thing. And also much companies are still on the same level. Like they didn't train their employees, so they're still on this pandemic level where they only know that Teams is for meetings, but it's not. It's definitely not. It's for collaboration, it's for communication and everything else. But yeah, of course, I'm doing also trainings and workshops for the users, for the employees. So not only the leaders know, okay, what are you capable to do with Microsoft Teams? Also the employees needs to know what they're doing there. So, and what can they do in their daily business. So I'm there to train them. And I think the main question is, okay, what are teams? What are channels? What should I do with them?
Yeah.
What are the abilities I have there? And which external maybe software I can also put into Microsoft Teams or just connect them. So maybe project management or something. So different kind of tools. So
It made me think too of one of the areas which I think for a lot of new people. And actually, there was a one of the MVP only calls. So it's
Mhm.
NDA. We can't talk about the details of
Yeah.
what was discussed with new features, but
Yeah.
it's been around a while. Is this concern over people overusing chat instead
Mhm.
of using the channel conversations? And so that's like a great example of people understanding the basics of that, but then they're
Mhm.
going in and doing all of this work, sharing, collaborating via chats
Mhm.
rather than
Yes.
through the channel structure.
Mhm.
And that's that's a great example of, a problem, which leads to other
Yeah.
issues with the organization not then feeling like, hey, we don't have the right level of visibility into, what's being shared across
Mm.
these various chats, and the rest of the governance in the back end. And so I'm sure that you're running into that issue, because
Yes.
that's just a
Yes.
major area.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, because of as a company or as a IT service company, you also want to um, get a safe structure into this teams area. Like if you start understand what is a team or what is a channel, you can implement like a project directly into it. Like it makes sense what you're doing inside of these teams. It's always a
Yeah.
different topic. It's always a different project you're working with. So, and all these teams or the groups which are building in these teams, they're connected. So they always have one hub where they can collaborate
Mhm.
together for this one topic. And
Yeah.
if these information get into their brains, it's more simple to understand, okay, what is teams and why do we have teams and channels and different teams, and why do we also have separated chats? Like there's a
Yeah.
reason. There's a
Well,
reason.
it reminds me of, like, so early on,
Mm,
so after I left Microsoft and went to a little company, one of our major clients was a pharmaceutical company.
mm,
And this was, again, before Teams existed, and they were, a heavy SharePoint users, but this was before that you had the ability to go in and build templates. And so they
mm,
manually went in, and we helped them with um, a few, like, consulting hours in addition to the products that we
mhm.
provided, um, because they had hundreds of products,
Yeah.
and they wanted every product site to look exactly the same. So
Oh.
similarly with Teams, being able to go in and have it structured the same, and why, this is kind of a governance discussion, but like,
Mhm.
why would you have every project, every initiative, why would you have, like, the team, the structure look the same? It's like, well, like, as a project manager going and working, maybe I get reassigned to a new project. If the structure is the same, then I know where the stakeholders, the meeting minutes are. I know where all the project details are, all the requirements, all the diagrams, all the documentation.
Mm.
There's a structure to managing those projects. And so I love to see when clients are taking advantage of the provisioning capabilities, and they've thought about, on the back end, the
Yeah.
information architecture. Like, when we upload the files, it's going into this structure. It has this metadata. It has this classification so that we're more secure. And that, of course, how you use Teams and how sloppy you are with all of that, um,
Mhm.
will have an impact on your ability to
Yes.
roll out Copilot, for example.
Definitely, definitely. When we're talking about SharePoint, it's a big, big thing. It's a big topic. Permissions are the key, which you need to clear, and just you need to bring your permission into the right place. When they're not, if they're not right, you can make so much mistakes, and it's not good for your company. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, permissions in Copilot are very, very important. So,
Well, like anything, it will have a direct impact on the adoption, because if people
yeah.
go in there and, one, you have to train people to help them realize Copilot is
Yes.
not search. They're different things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but people might be frustrated with the results that they get back from Copilot, because they don't have the right permissions, or they have too many, they're accessing content that they
Yes.
shouldn't, and
Mm-hmm.
that could skew then
Exactly.
the results of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting space. So
Oh,
as
it is.
far as like what are your goals now? You're in the program, so you've been an MVP for has it been a month yet?
Yeah, since July. I'm since July.
Okay, July.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that time,
Yeah.
do you have any like goals for within the program or things that you want to go and do?
Of course, I have goals, and I reached some of them already. So I had my first speaker session on a big event, and it was amazing. It was so much fun. I never knew how much fun it is to just give your knowledge out to so many people, and
Hmm.
it's just amazing. And my goals are, of course, being an improved speaker to get better each day, and of course sharing my content, sharing my knowledge, and everything else what is included in this MVP title. um maybe someday, but I think I need many more years for that, is to get a distinguished speaker. There's also an award for a distinguished speaker, but I know, give me 6 years or something. That's such a hard goal to reach, but maybe someday. But yeah, as an MVP, I'm totally glad that I already have this title, and now I need to, of course, give my knowledge as good as possible back to the people, because when I twist the picture, if I wasn't an MVP, I would still do the same. Like, I want to share my knowledge, I want to get knowledge to a community, and I want to just share everything, because it's so much faster that if we just sharing everything, it's so much more fun than, of course, reading articles alone, or blog posts or something. That's, I don't know, it's not it's not in the time anymore, I guess, or I think.
Well, I mean, clearly there's the benefits of being an MVP is,
Hmm.
you've got the network, and so there's a lot more, you'll have other opportunities that'll come because of that. But I agree. I mean, most MVPs, I've always said this exactly what you said. It's like, I was doing these things before I was an MVP.
Yeah.
I will do them after an MVP because it's just part of my DNA, the way that I love doing this. I
Mm.
learn about something, I want to go write about it, talk about it, share it with people.
Hmm.
And um, it's funny. I've been in IT for now 33 years, over 30, almost 34 years.
Hmm.
And at the beginning of my career, very much like to be a subject matter expert in a topic usually meant that like you were, hoarding information, you were keeping it all for yourself, so you were
Mm.
the expert on that
Yeah.
topic. And now that it's the expertise is not looked at that way. It's not how much you're holding for yourself, but is
Yeah.
how much is this person sharing that, open with these things, answering those questions.
Hmm.
uh, and so yeah, holding back on knowledge is not the way to be viewed as an expert in the modern workplace. It's, who is sharing the most. We're all
Hmm.
learning together. We're on a kind of a slightly different path that's in parallel to
Yeah.
non MVPs. But yeah, but it's a great opportunity for the networking. And I always tell new MVPs, like, just soak it up,
Yeah.
utilize that, and then just keep doing what you're doing.
Mm. Yeah, of
So
course I
lot
will.
lot of events, a lot of great stuff to go and do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually at the place where I'm speaking less at conferences, but doing much more online. And I've always done stuff at a local
Mhm.
level as well, but doing more video content,
Mm.
writing, that kind of stuff. And it's all good. And maybe who knows, I might get my second wind and then ramp up again and do more events. Yeah, who
If you
knows?
prefer, why not?
Yeah, it's I enjoy it. I love
Yeah.
getting out in the community, but it's
Yes.
just career wise, which is fine. It's like, it's just things are incredibly busy. So
Yeah, of course.
it's it's hard to take the time off to travel, especially.
Yeah. No.
Well, Nicole, for folks that want to, so we talked about LinkedIn. Is anywhere else that you're very active in social where people can find you on a regular basis?
So today just only on LinkedIn and YouTube. Just enter my name, Nicole Wiske, and you will find me everywhere, like on LinkedIn only and YouTube. Maybe I will write a blog someday, or I'm planning to do a podcast in the future, but it's in the stars at first. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, of course, we'll have your links to your profile and to your LinkedIn. And do you have like a personal website, even one that's just kind of a find out about me, or do you
It's in the
not have a site?
making. It's in the
Okay,
making.
all right.
Yeah.
So, but of course, I'll have her contact information up on the blog post and out on YouTube as well, with the video live. So, Nicole,
Mhm.
really appreciate your time.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.